Podcast. Today, I'm joined by a very exciting guest, Rubi Arbel, CEO of Scribe Security. It's lovely to have you today. How are you doing?
Thank you, Emily. Thank you for having me.
Of course. Well, it's lovely to have you today. Would love to just kind of get started, really, and for you to kind of tell us a little bit about yourself and your journey into kind of becoming a CEO and founder.
Yes, sure. So I doing cybersecurity for over 21 years now. It started in 8200 and the cyber units of the IDF, and then I continued in the cyber ecosystem of Israel. I was VP at one cybersecurity startup, and then I founded with my co-founder at Scribe a cybersecurity professional services boutique firm where we served big customers, defense, financial services, etc., with hard problems. And then we spun off for a product company, and this how Scribe became a software supply chain security company. We understood while we provided the professional services that there is a big problem and something has to be done. We saw that everybody is struggling with it. There were no good solutions in our view, and we thought that a fresh approach should be applied to this type of problem, and this is how we started Scribe 4 years ago.
Amazing. So over the last 4 years, then how's your journey been, and how, from there until now, how have you kind of developed the company and really, managed to grow it over the last 4 years?
Yeah, so the raison d'etre to starting Scribe was that we understood that the current traditional application security solutions were not enough to cope with the software supply chain security challenges. Actually, even until today, most companies, the only thing that they do is just they scan their code for known vulnerabilities in the code. It could be with the SAST tools, static analysis. It could be with the SEA, software composition analysis, but eventually the end goal is to make sure that there are no known vulnerabilities. And what was missing was that all the other aspects of software supply chain security just did not get any answer. Okay. And to that end, we developed a different kind of technology that allowed us to collect attestations. Attestation is security evidence of everything and anything that happens to the code, to the pipelines, to the software development lifecycle processes throughout the entire SDLC, the entire process, and then connect all the dots into a knowledge graph, and then understand, like have the full story of what happened, and then you can, first of all, of course, understand the known vulnerabilities. Scribe has application security posture management or ASPM functionality. You can manage the software bill of materials. Scribe had a SBOM management functionality, and you can understand and manage the best practices of the SDLC and machine readable attestations of any secure SDLC practice is what is expected today. So this is how we thought about the problem, and it allowed us to provide other value propositions such as automatic mitigation, governance, compliance, and detection and prevention of actual tampering. And I think that the main difference between most of the traditional AppSec tools and what Scribe did is that the notion of most of the tools was shift left. Okay. Most of the security team members don't understand really anything about code development. So they delegate the responsibility to deal with vulnerabilities to developers. And this is where most organizations end their, their treatment in this problem. And we thought about it a little bit differently. This is something that I just saw Aaron Lord, senior Gartner analyst, just wrote an article called Don't Shift Left, Shift Down, where
Mhm.
it says that the shift left has failed most organizations, and shift down means that you just need to automate everything into the DevOps, so you have like a full DevSecOps that guards the developers, and this is actually
Mhm.
what our approach is, okay?
Mhm.
To make sure that the visibility, the discoverability, the mitigation, the governance, the compliance,
Mhm.
everything is automated into the DevSecOps toolchains. The developers
Mhm.
can develop, and the security is done automatically in the background.
Mhm. Amazing. So obviously having that piece kind of done in the background then, is that been kind of a more recent update, or is that kind of been from the beginning, that's what you've thought that you've wanted to do? Or is that kind of been over the last 4 years that you've,
Mm.
saw that gap and really
Yeah.
thought, we need to target
No,
this?
sure, sure. Okay, so that's a good question. No, of course, I think that we evolved in a way into this. So we started from the humble goal
Yeah.
of really expanding and extending the resiliency of your pipelines.
Mhm.
Okay, so we could prevent SolarWinds type kind of attacks or CodeCov or 3CX or like the really hardcore security problems. Okay, so
Mhm.
this is where we started, and to that extent, we developed a technology that is integrated really deep
Mhm.
into the DevOps tool chains, unlike many other tools that just use APIs and then
Mhm.
they have access to logs and they work with what's available for them. We thought that it's not enough, and we wanted
Mhm.
to continuously sign every stage and generate provenance objects at every stage and apply gates at every stage, etc. So
Mhm.
this was an ongoing
Yeah.
process, and then we said, okay, signing and provenance important, but not enough because there are many things that you need to understand from the process. Okay, was there a code review for every commit? Was there like a last minute commit after you already ran your SAST that found its
Mhm.
way to the production, etc.? And then we also understood that someone can hijack your Jenkins configuration file. So this needs to be signed as well.
Mhm.
So we evolved to collect a much wider plethora of
Mhm.
evidence,
Yeah.
okay, of actually really everything and anything. This is where we added our ASPM functionality and also to apply gates because we wanted that the customers will have the ability or capability to break the process if
Mhm.
things go astray. And this is something that you cannot do with APIs.
Mhm.
And this is where we started to plug into admission controllers and actually to apply our gates within the SDLC. So at every
Mhm.
stage, we can validate anything and we can gate everything.
Mhm.
And more or less around the time, we said, okay, this same technology is also really, really good for SDLC compliance and software supply chain compliance.
Mhm.
The only difference is that for compliance, you're not interested in the thumbs down, you're
Mhm.
interested in the thumbs up. You want to
Mhm.
generate a statement of compliance that everything that has been done for that build is okay
Mhm.
and is aligned with whatever requirements your customers or regulator have for you, or
Mhm.
with whatever internal initiative, security campaign, or whatever your security team have for the company.
Mhm. Of course, of course. Well,
Yeah.
I guess that point kind of, leads me on to my next question
Yes.
in terms of transformation and kind of the
Yeah.
development of your kind of product over the last 4 years. Like
Yeah.
after kind of speaking and having conversations, I know you mentioned that there could be a potential transformation from Scribe
Yes.
very shortly. So would love to kind of, dive more into that in terms of what
Yes.
that looks like and how exciting that's going to be over the next, few months and year.
Yes. So actually, I think that the main transformation regards to AI, and about 2 years ago, when AI really made a great jump, we started to investigate it, explore it, and gradually we came into the conclusion that AI changes everything.
Yeah.
Okay, really everything.
Mm-hmm.
And with Scribe, it changes also almost
Yeah.
everything. It started from our notion that the strength of AI tools is not as much. I mean, the models are really important, but
Mm-hmm.
it does not matter so much if you're using Gemini 2.5
Mm-hmm.
or Claude or ChatGPT 4 or 5. It's much more important what data the model has access to
Mm-hmm.
and the data model, because
Mm-hmm.
if the AI needs to go to the left to understand the root cause analysis or go to the right to understand the impact analysis, then if it has like random data points, that's one
Mm-hmm.
thing, but if it has a knowledge graph, that's another thing, okay? And we did a few things before AI erupted into our life
Mm-hmm.
that has put us in a very good position
Okay.
to provide unique value for AI. For
Mm-hmm.
example, even today, we collect the most wide and deep data about what happened to the SDLC from all the tools that I know.
Mm-hmm.
And also the data model was pretty important because
Mm-hmm.
we built a knowledge graph for everything.
Yeah.
So now when we apply AI, it's very effective. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and what we see today, and so this was one thing, that if
Mm-hmm.
we apply AI to help our customers to
Mm-hmm.
augment their teams
Mm-hmm.
with AI agentic workflows,
Mm-hmm.
it's going to be very effective and very helpful for them because all the data is already there.
Mm-hmm.
And the Scribe Hub, which is our main platform, also provides a lot of things. And now we can automate a lot of their workflows, okay?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like automatic remediation of vulnerabilities and the findings of other tools and the statements of compliance that are generated automatically and I mean, based on abstract requirements
Mm-hmm.
and to automate the deployment of everything in the DevSecOps. So there are many things that you can do in order to make a team of 2 to 3 AppSec people
Mm-hmm.
look and feel like a team of 15, 20 people.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like 10x speed.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing that AI really changed is the sheer amount of code that is
Mm-hmm.
deployed into the software factory.
Mm-hmm.
Because and we are in the middle of it, okay? But it's going
Mm-hmm.
to be even much better or worse, right? It's
Mm-hmm.
better from productivity, but worse
Mm-hmm.
from security. So everybody's using Copilot, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And let's say that Copilot only improves your productivity as a developer between 30 to 50%, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But now there is also vibe coding, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So you see developers just providing a prompt. It could
Mm-hmm.
be a short prompt, it could be a long prompt, and then the software is generated automatically, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And you just get a software. You don't even know what's in it. You don't know how
Mm-hmm.
it was built.
Mm-hmm.
You get shadow IT, you get zero SDLC visibility. Uh, for vibe coding, you just
Mm-hmm.
tell something in English and get a working application, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like a huge black box, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And the AI is could be very effective
Mm-hmm.
in putting a functional code,
Mm-hmm.
but it lacks context.
Mm-hmm.
It has low security expertise.
Mm-hmm.
It does not understand what are the consequences of the so-called decisions that it makes.
Mm-hmm.
So you can get like 2 times, 3 times more code, maybe more, maybe it's going to
Mm-hmm.
be 10 times more code, okay, in a couple of years
Mm-hmm.
to your software factory, but your security team did not grow at that
Mm-hmm.
speed, right? You don't have 10 times more security personnel.
Mm-hmm.
But the consequence is that there is absolutely no way to to scale the security operation, the AppSec security operation of that magnified explosion of code that
Mm-hmm.
AI enables. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And what it made us think is that now this is becoming a much more serious threat than the
Mm-hmm.
random or not random, like even the state attacks,
Mm-hmm.
because so much vulnerable code goes out. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and we already had almost all of the tools in order to make sure that we can cope and scale with the amount of code, so we can scale the
Mm-hmm.
security. And the two words that are really important is automating and augmenting. Okay,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
manual manual workflows, they suffer from scale,
Mm-hmm.
drudgery, like it's boring, okay? It's just like a hard work to go through vulnerabilities, etc. So there is a
Mm-hmm.
lot of drudgery. It's boring, nobody likes it, and
Mm-hmm.
with the amount of code, like it's really impossible to scale
Mm-hmm.
unless you automate everything, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So you also, of course, you need to automate the security actions, testing, everything. So this is DevSecOps now becomes a necessity, a
Mm-hmm.
complete necessity. So if small companies could say, okay, we'll do AppSec, we'll take somebody will be responsible for AppSec. This is no longer an alternative. You need to automate everything.
Mm-hmm.
And even if you automated it, in the end of the day, you need to do something with it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to also to automate and augment the workflows. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, so we just wrote something about it. AI code, AI fix. Okay. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
you cannot cope with the security problems that AI introduces to the huge new scale of coding,
Mm-hmm.
unless you're also using AI to augment and scale the security on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
And this
Mm-hmm.
is even before we talked about the attackers that also use AI
Yeah. Yeah.
to scale their attacks, which is going to
Mm-hmm.
be the next big problem.
Mm-hmm. And I guess obviously touching on that last point you made about, attackers using AI then. So what do you think and kind of foresee then over the next, 6 months, maybe a year, to what AI kind of looks like in the cyber landscape, and especially even Scribe too? What do you think, that will look like, and how that will kind of take form?
So I think it's going to be pretty similar to what you see AI as a code assistant.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So it started from being a junior code assistant that provides some suggestions
Mm-hmm.
and you ignore like 90%, but something is
Mm-hmm.
okay. And then as models became better and better,
Mm-hmm.
you see that uh, within 6 months, even less,
Mm-hmm.
from junior, it accelerated to be an intermediate code
Mm-hmm.
assistant, and then maybe a senior code assistant. And now with the vibe coding, like it really can write a functional application in
Mm-hmm.
negligible time. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so so we are going to see the same with security. So with
Mm-hmm.
security, it's also code. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
if you want to fix a vulnerability, you need to push a PR. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
push release. Uh, and this is code. This is changing a few lines of code with other
Mm-hmm.
lines of code. Okay, so the only thing that halts this is that AI really lacks
Mm-hmm.
context. It lacks the understanding of the business
Mm-hmm.
implications or applications of the applications that you're developing, but
Mm-hmm.
it will get there. Okay, and we see
Mm-hmm.
we see in Scribe itself, we see that our workflows improving dramatically as time passes. Okay, like
Mm-hmm.
3 months ago and now, like it's
Mm-hmm.
totally different ballgame.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to see the AI security AppSec
Mm-hmm.
agent or network of agents, which
Mm-hmm.
is what we are using, improving from a junior AppSec
Mm-hmm.
engineer to a intermediate AppSec engineer to a senior AppSec engineer to
Mm-hmm.
okay to a mega senior AppSec engineer.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, even today, I think we passed the intermediate. We are closer to the senior.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll give you an example. We just as an experiment, we built an application in vibe coding. Like we just
Mm-hmm.
gave it a very short prompt. Three
Mm-hmm.
minutes, we had a fully functional application.
Mm-hmm.
The only problem is that it has more than 10,000 files,
Mm-hmm.
and it was like 150 megabytes. Okay,
Right. Mm-hmm.
from really one sentence of prompt. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
do you imagine that a company will put now their AppSec people to, to deal with that? Okay, no way. Okay, so what we did is we gave our AppSec agents, okay, to deal with all the vulnerabilities,
Mm-hmm.
and it took as much time as it took to write the code, like
Mm-hmm.
really negligible time,
Mm-hmm.
and then we just approved automatically all the commits and the PRs that our agents suggested
Mm-hmm.
and tested the application again. It had one medium vulnerability and one medium SAST finding, and it was
Mm-hmm.
still fully functional. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so I think this is where AppSec agents are going. Okay, they are
Mm-hmm.
going to help you to deal with the security implications that the AI coders uh,
Mm-hmm.
introduced.
Mm-hmm. Of course. And I guess obviously kind of, future for Scribe and what that looks like. So in terms of kind of next steps, future plans and growth plans then over the next kind of few months to a year, what is that looking like for yourself?
Yeah. So we are today really focused on if 4 years ago we were focused on the software factory,
Mm-hmm.
and we say, okay, we need to protect the software factory first and foremost from external attackers. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
that's the most important thing because SolarWinds, because everything that happened, and because attacks on software supply chain security exploded. So this is still a thing, but
Mm-hmm.
now our focus and attention are really shifted into protecting the AI-driven
Mm-hmm.
software factory.
Mm-hmm.
And what we need to protect it now, it's from all the risks that are introduced internally.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, from huge amounts of vulnerabilities, from
Mm-hmm.
shadow ITs, from zero visibility of SDLC.
Mm-hmm.
Vibe coding just bypass your entire SDLC. It doesn't matter what you did there. Okay, So now, and this is going to be our focus at least for the next year.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we want to make sure that our customers that are starting, and all of them
Mm-hmm.
already started to use at least Copilot.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I think that most of them are still waiting for vibe coding to mature. However, some of their non-developers already use this, okay,
Mm-hmm.
even without them knowing that.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but even, we just looking at copilots, like it's like two times the amount of code. And what
Mm-hmm.
do you do now? You still need to help them
Mm-hmm.
cope with that amount. Okay, scale is an important word here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Of course, of course. Well, I think it's been such a great, such a great conversation, obviously learning more about Scribe and your transformation process, especially kind of, the AI element of everything and,
Yeah.
what that's going to start to look like over the next few months, over the next year or so. So yeah, it was absolutely great to chat today. Is there anything else that you want to touch on or?
No, I think that we are
Mhm.
going into a very exciting era.
Mhm.
But this, not only with code security, with everything
Mhm.
that is
Yeah.
around AI, right?
Mhm.
But it has a lot of risks.
Mhm.
Okay, really, it has a lot of risks, and
Mhm.
some of these risks should be mitigated through regulation. I
Mhm.
know that a lot of people don't like this word, and
Mhm.
let the market deal with it. But I think that we need regulation for
Mhm.
AI because the market forces don't align
Mhm. Yeah.
uh,
Mhm.
to serve humanity best. Okay,
Mhm.
they are aligned to serve interests
Mhm.
best now. So
Yeah.
we need to take care of this, and
Mhm.
I think that a lot of it would be about what AI generated code is
Mhm.
allowed to do, what it can do, how you mitigate the risks.
Mhm.
And I think that our humble contribution to humanity will be to at least make sure that other bad people using AI
Mhm.
are not taking advantage of their new capabilities
Mhm.
in order to exploit software at scale.
Mhm.
Because we are there. I mean, software has already ate the world. It's not eating the world,
Yeah.
and everything is software, and we need secure software. It's
Mhm.
just a necessity for humanity now.
Mhm. Yeah, no, of course, of course. And again, it was great to kind of obviously find out more about you and Scribe and how that's going to transform over the next few months. And, it's been a great conversation this morning. Really loved kind of diving into everything in more detail. So yeah, that was, brilliant, brilliant chat. So tune in next time for the next episode of the podcast.
Thank you, Emily.
Of course.